So I haven't done a video rant in forever because, quite frankly, I realized nobody cares what the fuck I think. But there's been so much going on, and that especially with this gun control debate after this Pulse shooting, and I can't restrict it to tweets. I can't put it in a Facebook post. I don't have the attention span to put it in a Tumblr post. Like, I'm just gonna make a video. So, so my thing is with this gun debate every time there's a big gun tragedy, there are the people that will tweet and talk and post about, "I'll see you next time when we're here again when this happens again." And I hate seeing those tweets for a number of reasons. There's the first obvious of this person's probably right in that this won't be the last, because we are a country where it's legal for you to buy a gun. Notice how I simplified that, but I'll get to that later. So there's another reason why I hate saying that, because these people are part of a problem. These are the people, so they say, "Oh, I'll see you next time," because they feel like, and I don't know, maybe they feel like it's just, empty words that they can't do anything. But that's part of the problem. We don't hold anybody accountable for what we want done. You want America to embrace more gun regulation, but you don't hold the people who can make the regulations possible accountable. You continuously vote in the people that'll either get paid off by the NRA or that will just give up right after it fails the first time. So, I mean, what do you really expect? Like, yes, it's going to happen again, because that's just how the cycle goes. And it's kind of why I ask myself, do we really have as big as a gun problem as people say we do? Because if it were a problem, like a legitimate problem, I'd see people protesting it more. I'd see people talking about it more. I would see it get brought up a lot more than it does when it happens. That's only when it happens. And quite frankly, I want to say there's a word, I had to put a whole phrase to this. We average a widely mass media televised mass shooting. Yes, that's the only way we can say this, because technically a mass shooting is when 4 more people are killed, which I don't know who came up with that definition. But we only have those big mass shootings. We probably average one of those like a couple, like those probably maybe once or twice a year, if that. Well, I mean, I say if that, but it's like, I understand to the person who really cares about human life, that's a lot for that to happen. But it's also like, let's be honest here, the whole world has these type of problems. They're everywhere in the world. And while ours is more so a legality thing, it's still not as bad as you say it is. So then, I mean, mind you, I'm just talking about the mass shootings here. I'm not talking about like other types of gun violence, gun accidents, stuff that you just kind of can't prepare for, So, but I mean, at the end of the day, are people really going to get anything done here? I mean, there's so many sides to this problem that nobody wants to admit and talk about. Nobody wants to talk about how I'm pretty sure the people sitting on the floor of the Congress right now don't even know don't even know the full extent of gun laws in this country. Seriously, I'm pretty sure somebody sitting on that floor believes that assault rifles are legal in this country, when they're not. They're not. Semi-automatic rifles are, which is what is being used. And I mean, at the end of the day, when you're killing people, it's kind of apples to apples. Not apples to apples. It's kind of just like comparing different things. But when people are dying for just even with semi-auto, you still have to have the discussion. And if you're not coming to the table knowing what you're talking about, then what do you expect when a senator or a congressperson can get paid off by the NRA, who I'll say this, they do not speak for me as a gun owner. I am pro-gun, but partially pro-gun regulation. They don't speak for me because they just pay money to get people to say guns should just be a thing, and regulation's already too tight as it is, which I don't agree with at all. And it's just like the other part of this problem is people. Again, going back to these people that are saying, "Oh, see you at the next gun tragedy." Why don't you start holding your politicians accountable? Is that hard for us as a people? Like, I just want to know, is it hard for us to look at the people who we vote into power to make the laws? Is that hard for us to hold them accountable? To say, this is what we would like. We understand that you could do this bad thing with the power we may be trying to give you. We want you to be given. However, we want you to understand that we will not stand for you abusing that power. Case in point, people have been proposing, because apparently Omar Mateen was on the no-fly list. but he was still able to purchase a gun. And that's something true. It doesn't, because the no-fly list doesn't necessarily restrict your right to travel. It just means that you can't go to the, just means you can't go fly. You can't fly anywhere. And I get it. And I realize this could ultimately lead to us just creating multiple lists, excuse me, that people could be kept off of. But I mean, that's a little better than, maybe instead of just going by the no-fly list, maybe the no gun purchase list. And if you're ever put on that list, first of all, one, you should be notified that you're ever put on that list. And two, if you're notified of it, you should be able to appeal it. Obviously, there's some leeway with that, and government can obviously abuse it. But again, when we talk government abuse, it's because I feel like people are just lazy and don't want to hold politicians accountable, both conservative and liberal. Liberals believe that the government will have enough wherewithal to not abuse this or to properly execute what power they're being given. And conservatives are just like, well, we shouldn't give them the power at all, because why would we? Because we just can't stand up to government. I don't agree with that. I feel that people can hold the government accountable. It's something in this country, especially on the internet. People say whatever the hell they want on the internet. Like, you can say whatever the hell you want on the internet. People are doing some crazy shit today, and you're telling me that we can't just go ahead and start telling people, the people who we vote and elect to be put in charge of making the laws, to do something? Oh, come on. And that's why I hate having this discussion. And it's like, oh my goodness. I just wish that people could kind of see things, that things are kind of in the black and white that they like to see it, that they don't like to see it in. And that it's not that hard to do certain things. At the end of the day, what's going to happen here? We're going to have this discussion again. Like I said, the people who make those tweets and those posts are right. They will see us at the next shooting. And we're going to have the discussion again, because someone's going to want legislation passed immediately following the event, and nothing's going to change. People just need to do better. And I mean it. The United States of America, the people of the United States of America need to hold their politicians accountable. On many, and this, not even just gun control, but on other fronts. Like, we needed to hold them accountable on things on just things like the Affordable Care Act. Hell, if Bernie Sanders were the nominee and he would have become president, we definitely should have been the ones to hold him accountable there too. That the tax money he would then be taking from all of us would go towards the things that he said that we would get. And not just we're being taxed and our wages are being driven up and just giving more money to the government to go God knows where. I just need the people to try that. It's not that hard.